Right. Right, I think we are live. Anyway, so the goal for today is to build a level that is, I guess, sort of a kaizo level, as one might see in a ROM hack, say of Super Mario World, or in a Super Mario Maker level. And in order to do that, I have to do a bit of fun times. Which I think I might wait for someone to join before I really do anything. Oh, minimal power. Whoops. Anyways. I am still poking around in Discord for a moment, but minimal power, in case you want to know what we are doing, I'm going to try to make a kaizo level in Geometry Dash Platformer. In order to do that, I think I'm actually going to want to change up how momentum works, because I don't really like the current way that momentum is implemented. In particular, I've noticed that I've noticed that in most normal situations, if you are holding right and then you release right, you will decelerate faster than if you instead hold left, which just does not make sense. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and make basically a box around the player that will move the player around when you press and release and whatever. When you press and release the left and right buttons. it actually looks like there are people here. So I will get right into it. I did a bit of testing beforehand to just figure out how the momentum tends to work. So here I figured out what the stopping distance is for various different things. So here, this is basically if you fall off of a normal block, or if you're sitting on a normal block and you're holding right, this is the stop. This block here shows how long you will slide before you stop if you either don't hold anything, or if you hold left, which for some stupid reason takes almost twice as long to stop. The difference isn't quite as big if you're in the air, but it's still it's still the same effect. You slow down faster by holding nothing than by holding left, which is super counterintuitive, especially since the reverse is true if you are on an ice block. And what's even stranger is that if you fall off of an ice block, your in-air acceleration gets copied over from the acceleration that you would get on the ice block. So if you were on a normal block, then just barely touched an ice block and then jumped and tried to hold a specific direction, you would accelerate really slowly. And also, holding nothing makes you slow down, take a lot longer to slow down than holding the opposite direction, which is what you would expect in a platformer or in a platforming game. When you add slopes into the mix, things get even more jank. So I did some tests to basically figure out, I feel like if I hold right down a slope like this, then I feel like the amount of momentum that I'm getting is just not very consistent. So I ran some tests with that as well. I used this block to control the height at which you're dropped from. So essentially, if I press the right button just before I hit the slope, then essentially how much speed do I build up? And this little, graph on the right here shows how long it takes for you to, what the stopping distance is for various points at which I placed this block. And as you can see, it's a squiggly line that just has no rhyme or reason. So in particular, you can see that if you start holding right just before you touch the slope, you can actually get a significant boost to your speed. By the way, this is like actual distance to the right. So the amount of space that it took to slow down is still only fractions of a block, or fractions of a block more or less. But considering that the total distance is like maybe 1.5 blocks, this is an appreciable difference. And it was enough that when I was playing a level like Spider Tech, which uses a ton of slopes, I was having a lot of trouble dealing with momentum. So, to that note, I'm going to be trying to rework some of that. And in order to do that, I am going to probably have to do a bit of finagling. I'm going to start by taking all of this and just moving it out of the way so we don't have to see it. Also going to I did not know that it gave you a random target if the group contained multiple objects. That's good to know. That's an interesting thing to know. Unfortunately, minimal power, I do not know what Ice Spice terms mean. If you mean like, explain like you're 5, it basically means that slowing down is weird. Moving to the left and right is just weird. In GD, I think it would basically mean something where you have to do stuff in like continuous movements instead of being like, okay, I do this jump, I check where I am, I do the next jump, I check where I am, and so on, which is kind of how I tend to do things in most levels. Anyway, the first step is going to be, I want to take some of these objects, and we're going to make a little box for the player. And that, I'm going to give this in a group. I'm going to accidentally minimize my game. I'm going to spawn at that group. Kaizo is, as far as I can tell, is something where the gameplay focuses on kind of fast-paced platforming, and instead of finding your way to around things, there's generally various tricks involved. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to do a shell jump in Geometry Dash. I think it'll be doable. I probably just have like a contraption like something like this, and basically say, okay, if you let's see. If the thing is moving, then this spawn trigger will be toggled on, and if you hit the spawn trigger, then this thing toggles on and moves up a little and gives you a bounce, so like you're bouncing off a shell, and if you miss, then the spike hits you. The spike might need to be a little bit bigger because spike hitboxes suck. A lot bigger. Or a lot in a different spot. We'll figure it out as we go. The first step is to make momentum make sense. So I'm going to put a row of blocks right there. And I'm going to give these a group of their own. And they are going to follow player Y for literally all of time. Actually, this is a platformer level, so we will want more time. Yeah, on the one hand, yeah, they absolutely don't suck. They're beautiful, they're generous, I love them. On the other hand, it feels so weird having not a triangular hitbox, I guess, for lack of a better term. Fortunately, rectangular hitboxes are super easy to work with, so you can easily make a shell where if you hit the top part of it, you bounce. If you hit the bottom part of it, oops, you are dead. Anyway, we will now set up our momentum. And in order to do momentum, I have to remember some basic things. So this could take a while, but we'll give it a try. 11 will be the neutral position, 12 will be the U, and 13 will be the next. I got that backwards. 12 will be the next. This is your velocity. So, top players probably have, at the very least, a very good intuitive sense for where the hitboxes are. I mean, I've played enough, even just from what little platform I've played, I've been like, okay, I can, maybe I cannot escape this box because there are, things bounding it. But I feel like, even though, oh yeah, I can easily go that far into a spike, I can probably go considerably further into a spike and be perfectly fine. So, stuff like that. I don't actually know how close I was to the spike's hitbox. Actually, you know what? On that note, I am very curious. Not very close at all. So yeah, I have a feeling that I just know from playing platformer a little bit. Oh yeah, you can venture fairly deep into a spike without actually hitting its hitbox. Anyway, the speed is this. Speed. And Group 9 is also going to have its own partner in crime, Group 14. And Group 9 is going to follow Group 14 for all the rest of its days, only on the x-axis, because we don't need it moving up and down. And then I've got this backwards. 14 is following 9 around because 14 tells 19 where to go, tells 9 where to go next. 9 is you, 14 is where you will go. And how does 14 know where you need to go? Well, it knows where you need to go because it follows 12. And 12 is your speed. Actually, I should probably make 12 a collision block. I'm going to make 12 a collision block. The reason I'm making 12 a collision block is because I need speed to have a cap. Do I know what that cap is? Absolutely not. We'll say it's that, whatever that is. Actually, we'll make it that. And now this will be our acceleration. This will be this point of 0 acceleration. You can probably do this with pickup variables somehow, but I don't even want to get into that because pickup variables are like discrete values or something, I think. But yeah, acceleration. And let's see. I will want 12 to follow 13. I think should be right. Actually, I don't know if I'll need that. We'll see. So, now we need to acquireth player input. And we need it to do something when you push the right button. And when you push the right button, it will activate the next group, which is 15. And I'm also going to say P1 only, player 1 only. Oh, hey, I didn't know that añadir meant add. Yes. I don't know what the Spanish word for add is anyway. Adicionar, but that would be addition in terms of math. And then ocultar. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Anyway, when push right, we want group 12 to move. We want it to moves. And we want group 12 to moves. Let's say 20, and that 15, and now we're going to add a failsafe here and here, 16 and 17, to just say if all else fails, that is a place that you should be if you are moving fully to the left or right. Anyway, to that note, I also should probably make us not many and make us robot, because then we can actually have controlled jump, let the player control the jumps, which the player will probably appreciate. Don't worry about it, TRC. Usually there's only one person in chat total for me, so having 3 concurrent viewers is, or at least for a building stream, 3 concurrent viewers is perfectly acceptable. I'm guessing minimal power doesn't really have anything to say at the moment. This is phone triggered. Oh wait, no, that's something else. I also want to have player move to, why are you group 9? And we want to target mode. I actually don't know whether target mode has changed at all. So anyway, I needed group 10 to move. The center will be group 9, and the target position is group 14. And we want this to happen every point, I don't know, 0.3 seconds. I figured that move triggers are somewhat improved now, so I can loop this sucker. And I want a delay of 0.02. Thank you. I don't know why the spawn triggers have so many digits of precision now, but hey, I'll take it. Oh, I should probably also say, oops, this one, X only. That is because I made the acceleration the time step very slow, and I also didn't actually put in a collision trigger, so we're gonna do that real quick. And I also didn't tell it to stop when you release right. So let's do that real quick. So event, when right is released, we want it to stop moving. We want 15 to stop. And this will be on the new group 19. And we'll also want 12 to move back to 11 when that happens. And want 12, it can be your own center, and you want to move to 11. So event trigger is literally just when this happens, activate group. So this event trigger has right push. So when I push right, it activates group 15, which happens to be this trigger, which I placed right next to it for readability, in which I have given it group 15 using this dialog. And I'm not sure whether I want to do direction mode. I know. I do want it to be direction mode. So I want it to go a distance 20, or well, let's see, this was 20 in 0.2, so we could do 2 in 0.02. More digits. I have no idea whether Geometry Dash can even handle precision of more than 2 different. Yep, I figured you were lurking minimal power. This actually means give this a different group, and we're going to see. I'm actually going to make it take a little longer. Okay? No, I cannot. Okay. So this, I'm going to give loop. Wait, what? Do I even have a group 17 in here somewhere? Yes, I do. And so now you can be on group 20, it's okay. So this will be spawned and triggered in group 19. So when this thing gets activated, when you release left or right, it's going to start frictioning. And I will just mention that I have no idea whether any of this will work. So Also going to give this its own ID so I can tell whether you're moving left or right. Collision, 1, 2. Spawn trigger basically says, okay, when you activate me, everything in group 20 gets activated. Oh look, group 20 is these two objects. Activate these two objects. Oh look, one of them is spawning group 20 again. Oh look, it's getting spawned again, and every 0.3 seconds. And I'm actually going to... I can't remember whether it's stopping or toggling. Put it on stop. I have no idea how pause works. Either way, it's probably not the right solution for whatever I'm doing here. And this basically saying activate the group, and I'm gonna do spawn trigger. We're gonna spawn trigger it as well. So now, when you hit this, activates group 21, which is going to stop group 15. Which means that you stop accelerating to the right. And then we're going to do another collision trigger here. We're triggering on exit. It's going to have group 21 as well. It's going to activate group 22. And this is going to be group 22 as well. And that means I can also tell this one that now I know which one to stop. So now, once it's no longer colliding, it will just revert to previous state, which is this. You are a comet. Which is, I guess, a comet with an N. Very fun. And I'm gonna do essentially the same thing with the left. And I don't actually have a group 15 to stop there, so but yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. So these can now do the other one. So now it's going to do some more things. And we're going to copy and paste all of this noise. And now this is going to be the event for pushing the left button. And it's going to activate group 25. And this is going to move it to the left. And it's going to... This is group 25, so we can tell this that it needs to stop group 25. This we also know will stop group 25. And this event, which will spawn group 26, will activate on left button release. And now give these group 26, these group, their own new group, and set these to activate that group. All right, that might be it. Now it's going to fail horribly, just like that. And I'm going to, how do I not follow player? Okay, it's not here again either. Incredible. You know, I just realized the follow player option is not there because static camera. Static camera is going to static camera group 12. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so I now see what the problem is. First of all, I don't actually need that because this can just spawn group 20 again. And we are going to want to move this up. And I also add in the last thing that I forgot, which is to take 12 and move it to 16 is on the right, 17 is on the left. Okay. To 17, X only. To 16, X only. And now we give them giveth groupeth. It's still going absolute muum. Oh, of course. It's a bit interesting how it... Oh, right. Never mind. So I need to actually spawn these, so I'm going to give them a group and spawn that group. So now our speed is capped to only a slightly worrying speed. So now we toy around with this speed until we get a good speed. Also, this freaking thing is... So you'll notice that the thingy is doing some vibing. And we don't want it to be vibing. So in order to fix, I'm trying to basically, I don't know about Super Mario World physics. Okay, we have a problem. We have a bad problem. And we will not go to space today. Let's try... Trying to recreate some physics. Okay, this needs to be group 25. That might be it. That actually might be it. Yeah, that was it. That was literally it. Okay, now we almost have working physics, which is good. And the last step is to eliminate the wiggle. So to eliminate the wiggle, I'm going to... It's going to be a bit tricky. I want to have something to detect whether this thing is exactly on... I want something to detect once you have stopped moving and tell it, okay, you can stop the loop now. I could also, I think I'm gonna, we'll see. You can always play with the exact acceleration value later. And I might also do a check for like, am I in the air or not? But that might also not be necessary. So I'm going to test one thing. Okay, so we're going to want to eventually put in some checks for covering the case where you hold down both directions. So I'm probably going to make it so that so that both directions act as if you're just holding down nothing, or neither direction. Anyway, I'm going to try to think how to do this. I know. I can have an AND trigger, or an AND gate. So these are going to be blocks that say, hello, if you are touching both of these, you are stopped. And so I'm going to copy and paste this setup again twice, and also get up my picture of how AND gates work in Geometry Dash, because I'm probably going to forget otherwise. We need new groups. And let's see, 28 and 29. And a moment while we set up this whole thing. Do it one more time. So now we're going to check for collision block 5. take me in just a minute. And now we put the meat of the AND gate in, which is a spawner. And these two, let's see, it's going to be 30, group 28, and this one's going to be group 30. And you're going to both spawn both spawn this, and this is going to move 12 to 11. Immediately. And it's also going to stop the loop down here. Stop group 20. And it's going to have its own group, of course. And we're also going to give these yet another group. The lower one is going to be 33. The upper one is going to be 34. And now the magic, where in order to make this work, we need these to have groups. And we need these to be turned on and off. So if something is toggled off, it can't be spawned. So that means that we can make a little AND gate out of these. So these two things right here can only be spawned by one of these two triggers, and they'll be spawned by either one. And when one of these two collision things happens, I'm going to give them group 27 as well, so they're just there when the thing starts. When one of these two things collisions happens, actually, I should probably start these down here. And we're going to start by moving them up 30 blocks, 30 units instantly. And now that way, the loops will be properly initialized. So each of these things, if this one gets triggered, it'll toggle this one on, and it'll try to spawn this one. And if this one is triggered, it'll toggle this one on and spawn this one. So basically, whichever one gets hit first will toggle on the one that the other one will spawn. And if it gets untriggered, then it will toggle that thing off. So this will be spawned exactly when both of these are hit. So hopefully this will work. It's beautiful. Now, there is, of course, the problem of, oh, I just smacked into a wall and got crunched. So I'm going to need to stop that from happening. So if you hit I want it to be make it so that if you hit a wall from the side, then you immediately just stop moving. I'm not sure if there's an event for that. We'll check. We'll see. Landing, hit head, not quite. Orb touch, gravity, normal jumps. Dashes, teleported portals, orbs, pads. Oh my goodness, how many freaking orbs are there? Pad, red, gravity, pad, spider pad, portal, 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 checkpoint, destroyed block, coin, pick up item, fall, 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 buttons. It appears that it is not an event. So, we're going to have to make it manually. Fortunately, this is actually not that's actually not that hard. I think I can just throw in a move trigger. Touch trigger, multi-trigger, move 12 to 11. Actually, I could spawn that as well. Instead of a move trigger, I already have something that does that. It's group 32 up here. And I can make that touch trigger. So now that is the thing that will happen. Now we have to see, it immediately stops my momentum. Which we don't really want. So in order to fix that, go on a different editor layer because then it's going to be easier to see. So this thing's hitbox is exactly the same as the hitbox of the block, so you can instead just go boop and move that one down just to be sure. It does not work. Well, that stinks. So this is telling me that there's a good chance that momentum is still going to be extremely janky in this. First off, I'm going to make it so that these things are not desynced. Okay, we're still crashing into the wall. I don't want us to be crashing into the wall. This also tells me I don't actually need 14 to follow 9. I don't even need 14 at all, but whatever, it's there now. So we're stopping really fast, so we're going to make this distance 1 instead of 2. Oh, much better, much better. Oh, I bonked into the wall. Oh, no, never mind. So, I really don't want to be dying every time we hit a wall. And I'm actually not sure what the best way to do that is. Yeah, so now if we hold nothing, we get a certain amount of acceleration. And if we hold the opposite direction, we get much more acceleration. However, holding one button and then hitting the other button is still not what I want to happen. Doing things that I didn't want it to happen. So for that, fortunately, we can still just do the same trick that we did with this. Put another AND gate in. I also want to figure out a way to instant stop the player's momentum. Because right now there isn't really, I haven't really done a good way of doing that. Let's see, right now it's doing about 10, 30. I'm gonna dial this acceleration down a little. Yeah, I really don't want that to happen. So what I could do is I could have, gosh, this is going to be a really, really dirty fix, but I can have something that stops group 18 and then respawns it after a short time. The heck? Okay, so you can see that now I'm actually not dying to the block. Group 20 better not be acting up. Also, I feel like I'm... Yeah, I don't remember the proper way to stop and start loops. What happens if I hit resume? It's gonna also need a different group because that's instant. Spawn. Okay. That group 36. Let's see if this does anything different. It is not going. So, in order to do that, we can just spawn it right at the beginning and then immediately pause it. So Yeah, that works. The maximum speed might be a bit slow. And we still died. Ah! Don't really have any good way to push the player out of the hitbox of the... what's it called? Pause and resume does seem to be very good for loops, though. I will remember that. I want to, I think I'm gonna have to take these event triggers and kind of group them together. To make a finite state machine where it tracks what buttons are pressed using the events. Which could be tricky. I'm not sure whether I need to. I want the... Yeah, I can definitely make the event, just make the events spawn triggered. That might actually be the best way to go. Okay, so starting from nothing. And I want a copy of these with a new group, because this is going to be the I am holding both group. And then, oh, actually I can have a holding both group and a holding neither group. I'm going to put some text in here because some comments, because otherwise I'm not going to remember. I also already don't remember. And I don't know, make this one both and that one neither. So it's going to be starting out in neither. Just group 26. So instead of just wait, no. Starting out in neither. So I'm going to make these spawn triggered group of 26, which is neither. And let's see, is this a left release or a right release? That's a left release. So I'm going to also want left release for neither. We have this group 25, which is the left group. Spawn triggered. The right release Okay, so we want a left release for neither and a right release for neither. And group for right is 15. And let's see. Left push to become both. And a right push to become both. And I'm going to need more stop triggers as well, aren't I? And let's see. This can either be a left press for neither or a right release from both. Both is 19. This can be either a left release from both or a right press from neither. So to do that, we want spawn trigger, multi-trigger. And 15, 25, 19, and 26. So this stream could end up being literally just me fiddling around with this momentum system, but hopefully not. So 15, 25. I could probably delete some of those stop triggers, but whatever. Oh boy, nothing is happening. Why? Because it didn't actually spawn any of this. Duh. And to do that, we can give these group 27. And there we go. And he's gone. And I messed something up, apparently. Vent. Right push. Remove. Activate. Group with 15 in it. Group 15. Right release. This should be activated. Oh boy. Hello, Peter. Or Elijah, I guess. Are all of these bond triggered? Yes, they are. 25. Let me read the description. Activates group ID from upon a specified player action. No, that seems right. What are you doing? Where the heck did your box go? Why are you all the way out there? Why does it not move? I also just don't know. Wait. Why does this have group 18? Get out of there. Well, now I'm really disappointed because I thought I could just finite state machine this, and I don't know whether it's just the fact that oh, event triggers are a steaming pile of jank when it comes to spawn triggering them and stopping them. But I guess I can always do it a different way. Well, back we go to the other attempt. These are not spawn triggered. And instead, let's see, what is this one? Left push. Left is, let's see, this one is right is push. Right is release. Left is push. Left is release. Just realized one thing that I might have gotten wrong. I've been streaming for maybe an hour. Shoot, I don't know what group this should have. Let's see, this is a left release that becomes neither. So it should have group 25. And I guess this is a left push that becomes both. That is a right push that becomes both. Aha! That may have been the problem. Wait, no. What? No, the right push becoming both is group 25. Group activates 19. This also activates 19. It's a left push becoming both. Which would happen if the right is already held. This activates group 25 and is a left push. Is this a right release? Yes. From both to left. and this is from neither to left. 26. And this must be right push from neither to right. Activates group 15. Activates group 15, group 15. Twenty-six, 26. 6, 19, 19, 19. 15, 19, 6. Okay, now that just does nothing. Because I forgot to give these group 27. Okay, so yeah, this just doesn't work for some reason. Alright then. No spawn trigger for you. Activate 26. From the left release. Activate 19 from a right release. Activate 15 from a right push. Activate 25 from a left push. Okay. Don't need these. Don't want them either. Do I have any mods? I am not modifying Geometry Dash in any way at present. If you have no idea what's happening, that's fine. I am kind of at a loss for what's happening as well. I am currently trying to figure out what's happening. So, on right push, I want to toggle 37 on, and .38 off. On right release, toggle 37 off, toggle 38 on. On left push, this is left push, right? Yes, it's left push. I want to toggle on 39 and off 40. On left release, toggle off 39 and on 40. Now, let's see, 15, 19, 25, 26. and should probably have these just in there because. And now the magic part. Right coach. If right is push, let's see. Start with 38, which is right release on. And let's see. If left is release and right is push, we spawn 41. It will be this. So this is going to be left is release, 39. Right is push, 15. Left is release is not 39. Left is release is 40. All right. Next, if right is release and left is not push. Right. Right is release and left is not push. Left is not push, 40. Right is release, 19. Next. These need the right is not push group. And this needs the left is push group. And this needs the left is release group. All right. Copy these out and give them the left is being held group. So if left is being held and right is release, then we want to act as if holding left. If left is being held and right is push, we want to act as if left is release. Do the same here. If left is push and right is hold, I want to act as if right is release. If left is push and right is not hold, oh right, if left is release and right is hold, we want to act as if right is push. Okay. We are, player is Neum. Player should not be Neum. Why is player Neum all of a sudden? Why is it move? It is move a full block over. That is because these have changed to groups. This is now 43. And this is now 41. Okay, much better. And we still crashed when we hit a wall. I still don't know why. All right, time for the really, really dirty fixes. Group 10. It's going to be toggled off entirely for a short time. Okay, that didn't work very well, but yeah, I can do this. So instead of that, we want 10 to follow 9 and do like that. Now it does like this instead, so the circle is follow. And put in one last happy little move trigger. And like so. And this should, dang it. Why does it still crash? Why am I still crashing into the wall? Huh? If I increase that number. Oh, okay, that's what it was. It's not what it was. Huh? Still super, super janky. What if I do this? Okay, that might have been it. my gosh, I just got mega bonked out of there. Okay, so that's fairly good. So also person with Cyrillic characters in their name, which I unfortunately don't know how to read. I will download your level, but I am not going to play it on stream, just so you know. Okay, so that seems to be small enough that we do not instantly stop when we hit our heads. Perfect. I think we have a beautiful little momentum system here. Only took an hour and a half. Oh boy, now we're gonna have to make gameplay after a... Past geometry dash has an extremely high like to download ratio. I've never seen that in a level that hasn't been like botted. Anyway, I have downloaded your level. Can go back to this. Now that we have somehow managed to make a coherent system of, I guess, momentum that I can also potentially adjust. And now it's time to gameplay. So I thought I told you to fade in. You know, fade in? I can probably get rid of the static camera now. Static camera. All right, now that we have all of this figured out, let us put in a very basic TM sort of transition from nothing to being able to see. And in order to do that, we will make a lasagna, as one might do. What am I saying? I have no idea. We're going to take these objects, and we're going to see how powerful the scale trigger is. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. We can do a quick test on how a scaleth worketh. We can I think I'll only want the 2s and the 4s for now. But give these a group and tell it to scale that group. No need for a center just now. It does absolutely nothing. Perfect. Let's see what was happening there. Ah! That's what's happening. Dang it! Actually, no, that's very simple to fix. You can just give it a center. Center 46. Okay. Bloop. Perfect. Scale these down. And then we can outline this with blocks. Some blocks. Zoom in to see what we're doing a little better. Okay, I can actually move these. I can probably move these out a smidge. I can definitely move these out a smidge. Actually, scale it down to 1. You're being very picky about this, but don't worry, I think I know what I'm doing. Looks like basically everyone is gone. It's fine. Because that's what always happens anyway. Actually, no, we should move this significantly further in. I accidentally did a thing. I need this back. Accidentally your mom. I accidentally learned that I can say literally whatever the heck I want. Now that nobody's listening, and nobody will will ever know, because no one is care. I am also very stupid. What else is new? Not sure how big this is. Like 15 wide or 16 wide. Okay, good to know. Let's take this whole thing in. Alright, now this is going to run a key for whatever the heck. Then first actually no. Let's see what this looks like. Not like much. first of all, because I messed some stuff up. Second of all, because the color should be black. Third of all, because it's too high up. And too far to the right. And what the heck? Oh, right. And it looks like we need a bigger thing. It's not quite big enough. Make it 80 and then toggle it off. Somewhere around here. If we save and play, okay. What happens if we start up here? Interesting. Now it's a bit too high. I think. Oh yeah, I think that's a good transition for now. Also going to check the don't fit, don't enter on these. Also on these. All right. You can send an ID, and I will download it, but I'm not going to play it on stream. Let's see, let's put a very crude sign up saying, please go to the right. It's kind of a placeholder. Let's see. I am not a GD mod, no. Nor do I really want to be one, honestly. And so yeah, this stuff over here. So now What do I do if the player is already holding a button? Yes, I will play those. Solar eclipse. Whoa! And you managed to get an easy face rate on a non-star rated level. That's impressive. Triggers tutorial. Interesting. I feel like I already know how to triggers. Yeah, I downloaded the levels, but I'm gonna save actually playing them for later. Because right now I need to figure out the puzzle of how do I tell if the player is holding right. I'm gonna do something really stupid. Interesting. Wait, what? That's group 10. What? Ah, I must already be touching it. That's right. Not much. Another step. Well, that's funny. It just came back to life. Oh yeah, because I have a thing that says, go back to the player. If everything is going wrong, try going back to the player. Also, I can see what happens if I increase that time. Can't actually quite reach the ceiling there, so... I think we're fine. All right, so in that case, if I have a right push, that's right release, right push. Yeah, this is simple. Right push activates 48. Oh, wait. And a left push. Activate the next group. 49. And 48 toggles on 50. And 49 toggles on 51. And that will be 50. That would be 51. So now if you have pushed right and not, what the dump? Of course. They can't be toggled on from the start, can they? Perfect! And I crashed into a wall. But that's fine. Yeah, alright. So we've got all the basic mechanics down. We've got a little intro cutscene going, and we have a thing that says, okay, don't let the player move for the first like half second. Like the first half second of gameplay. Actually, I'll make it take a little less time to get into gear. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. Being able to just like release right momentarily, and it doesn't just like instantly stop me, but it slows me down a little bit. That's good. That's good. Okay, so basically I want to make it so that the player I want to make it so that the player is going to be essentially holding right from the start. So I want to give them enough time to react to that. But not so much time that in subsequent attempts they're like, why is it not letting me move? Alright, next thing to make is our classic goomber. We want to make a goomber. And in order to make a goomber, we want to show with hitboxes. And We want a line object, and we want a spike object. And actually, I think I want one with more square hitbox. I'm going to copy around the line object, and I wonder if I can warp the... Oh, you can. Let's see. So, actually, now that I think about it, I can just use a regular spike, and I can rotate it. I can scale it up to something like so, and that'll be an appropriate size. So, our friendly Goomber is going to consist of a spawn trigger, touch triggered, and I have to figure out, wait, is jump release a... Oh wait, no, yeah, jump release is absolutely a... Yep, jump push and jump release are absolutely things that I can do. So, I'm going to have a little jump push and jump release. A little push release cycle for the jump button up here. So this one for jump push is also event number 69, which is nice. And this one for jump release. So these are going to be clear one only, and it's the next available group 52. I can't remember which one this is. It's jump release. This one's going to activate 52. It's going to activate 53. And what that is going to do is going to make it so that when you hold jump, you get a higher bounce off of enemies and shells and whatever the heck else I decide to throw at the player. And so, I'm going to have toggle on, toggle off. So when you are push jump, which gives us, these are group 52, these are group 53, and they're all spawn triggered. So you're going to toggle on group 54 when you push jump, and toggle on group 55 when you release jump. And our Goomber friend is going to say take this and 56, so that's going to either Goomber is going to have group 57. This is going to have group 58. And I guess this is also going to have group 57. So, when you touch Goomber friend, 58 is going to move up by a little bit. And to spawn, it's going to be on group 56. It means triggered only once. And then the you are actually pushing jump version, maybe it does that. And this also toggles off the spike. And after a short time, it also toggles off the flingy block. All right, so now dumb has happened. Thought you were all spawn triggered. They are. Let's try increasing this time. It's really not doing anything. Let's see. Toggle off. 54 by default. This fling is not very flingy. Still not very flingy. So we'll double it. Actually, more than double it. See what this does. Ah, there we are. That was more than I expected. 2. Huh. Oh, of course, because I'm holding jump and there is a platform for me to jump off of. So wait, what if this one's also 4? So that's the normal height of jump. It's a big jump. I think this maybe should be less. What happens if I make it less? That's a pretty small jump. It's probably about the right size for a Goomber. It could also take a bit more time to move. It took a little bit too much time to move. Okay, so take this. I feel like interesting. So we're definitely able to make a Goomber that can fling you. Oh, and by the way, if you are bad and if you are bad like me, you mess up the hitboxes and make it so that the Goomber doesn't actually do anything. When you hit it from the side, that's the top. You are died. You are died. also warp my beloved this thing a little bit more. Because you want Goober to have some chance of murderizing the player. Actually, also, you only really want this to be possible if you stomp it from above. So now if you actually accidentally hit it from below, also that, because I died to the wall, didn't I? Oh, okay. Alright, still get a good Goomber bounce, and if I smack into it from the side, it just instead murderizes me. Good. I now realized one other bug that could be causing problems, because right now, if I'm touching that, then I can still smack right into the wall and die. Which we do not want. So that'll require a bit of finagling too eventually. But for the moment, we have a working momentum system. We have a probably working Goomber, and that's about all I can take for today. So thanks to anyone who came. We have now made platform a little less jank. The momentum is now consistent, except possibly on slopes. I have not thought about slopes at all. But that's for another day. So have a good rest of your day or night or evening or whatever, and see you next time.